Whatever it is, it's not right on the teleprompter. I don't know what that is. I've never seen that. I can't read it. There's no words on it. I can't do it. We'll do it live. No. We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of the podcast. I'm your moderator, Alexei Pavlov. In this episode of the Penn and the Pavloffs, you will not be hearing from me, unfortunately. I was covering a tournament, a girls wrestling tournament, on this particular day that we were recording. But with that being said, Maggie Smith, a high school friend of Michael's, is joining the pod. The crew talks about a lot of things. This is probably the longest episode I've ever edited. Thank you to Michael and Grace. But I look forward to hearing what they have to say, and I hope you guys enjoy.
So, I haven't had it. Sandra hasn't had it. The kids haven't had it. No one. Well, yeah, but I don't live with him, right? I mean, everyone in my household, no one in my household has had COVID.
Yeah, neither of us have had it either.
Yeah, I mean, we've been careful, but actually, we've been really careful. It sucked.
Well, it worked out in your favor.
It makes sense. I guess it makes sense that we haven't had it, but the kids have been going to school and stuff. I mean, but they're required to wear masks. But they're kids, so they're not good at wearing, but they're vaccinated.
And you also live in the middle of, nowhere, Michael.
Yeah, but cases were high here because no one's vaccinated in my town because I live, in a town of just dumbasses.
Well, clearly, I mean, were they really...
Our vaccination rate is 39%.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I don't know garbage. What that... Yeah, I don't know the significance of that percentage.
Yeah. So the national average is 64 or something.
Okay.
But New York City, where you're from, is probably all the percent.
All the percent.
And probably Arkansas is not great as a state, but I bet Little Rock is pretty good as a city.
Pulaski County is pretty high.
Yeah.
And but my office is 100% because we have to be. You get fired if you're not, so.
And my school is too. We're required to be as well.
I'm not required to be vaccinated here.
Really?
To go to school. No.
Weird.
Yeah.
So Grace goes to Queen's University on Belfast, Northern Ireland. That's why it's so dark there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's so not just living in a cave or anything like that.
Yeah, no, it is pitch black outside right now.
Yeah. Oh well, I appreciate you accommodating my
story. I have a story. Oh my gosh, it was so embarrassing.
We should just do things out of order and make this terrible for Alec.
Yes. Also, where is my brother?
Okay. You were on the text chain, right? And so, Maggie, Alec is a sports editor in Ohio. Mm-hmm. And I guess girls wrestling is becoming popular.
Okay.
And his boss is not psyched about girls wrestling, but Alec is no, we need to, help popularize this sport or whatever. And so he's kind of going out of his way to cover this girls wrestling tournament.
Okay.
Which is good, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, sure. He's such a good citizen.
Yeah, that's what I told him.
No. Oh. Well, good stuff for Alec, I guess. So he's there. Is he not coming?
I thought he would be done by now, but then he was just you and Grace do it on your own. Maybe he's tired of us being mean to you. I mean, to him.
I was gonna say. I was I don't know.
Yeah, that didn't add up. The pronouns there didn't add up.
I was I don't feel particularly attacked in these. I mean, sometimes. No, this is a window right here to the left of me. Oh, let me swivel you. This is a window. We have a beautiful window. Single paned. Maybe it is double paned, but it does absolutely nothing to keep the heat in. Anyway, so there's a lot of issues with my flat that we've had. Have I ever talked about it?
No? Go.
Oh my gosh. Okay, this will lead up to what happened yesterday. Actually, that was today. Whoa. That was today. So when we first started looking at flats, right, it's just me and this one other girl, Sophia. And usually people move in with like 4 or 5 other girls, but it was just, or 4 or 5 other people. But we just decided it was going to be us because we're sort of late in the game and like whatever. Anyway, we start looking at places. We find this one, and the layout is really dope. So like you walk in, we're on the top floor. When you open up the door initially, there's like a set of stairs, and then that stairs leads to a landing, and then that landing has a bathroom. And then you turn, if you're walking out of the bathroom, it faces another set of stairs, which leads into the rest of the flat. And there's like a massive kitchen, massive living room. I have a pretty big room. Like you can kind of see my wall all the way back there. That's pretty deep down there. That's a cave. And that's a cave. And it's just like overall a lot of space for 2 people. Like I fit like 30 people in my living room for Super Bowl.
Oh yeah. Okay, so I saw those photos, and that really puts it into perspective for me.
Yeah. So it's like, especially for,
and also compared to like the apartment you guys had in the city.
It's kind of the same,
right? Like
not the same size,
like maybe
obviously smaller.
Maybe your apartment is not as big as the one you guys had in the city, but like for a student versus like, a teenager living with their parents. A teenager living with their parents will like obviously have a bigger living situation than a student.
Yeah. So we have like oodles of room. Like I could if I wanted to, I could fit another bed in here. I mean, it would make it cramped, but like if I needed to like blow up an air mattress on the floor, it'd actually be really comfortable. Yeah, I could totally do it. And that's part of the things people like about our flats, just we have a lot of space. And we have a fire escape. But anyway, so when we first came though, there was like, so obviously Ireland's really damp. It rains a lot. And it's also like a lot of really old buildings, and this building is pretty old. And basically when we moved in, there was obviously signs of mold in places, which is like pretty normal when you're trying to find housing here. And so we were like, okay, we're not going to like totally like X this option out because it's a really nice, like we have a lot of space and this is not something we're going to find again. And even people who live with like 5, 6, 7, the more people you get, like the smaller these living spaces almost become, So it was very interesting that, I don't know, it was very lucky that we found this, but there was mold. And so we had said to the landlord, and I honestly, I hope fucking government gets a hear of this because this is ridiculous. He's just,
I bet the Irish government's listening.
Yeah, totally.
I hear they're,
Oh, 100%.
They're the first subgroup of people outside of my math channel.
Oh yeah. I know, right? I should actually get in touch with the university about it because I heard that they can like help with situations like this and like get our rent reduced. But anyway, so we saw mold and we were like, okay, but is this going to be like dealt with before we move in? And he was like, oh yeah, don't worry about it. The flat's going to be totally deep cleaned, like super deep cleaned before you move in because of COVID and everything. And like, obviously it should be cleaned anyway. And he was just blah, 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 blah. We move in, nothing had fucking been done. I didn't move in first, Sophia did, but she was telling me, she was like, when she was vacuuming her room, there was like a centimeter thick of this girl's hair that had accumulated around the baseboards of the room between, the wall and the carpet. So it hadn't been fucking deep cleaned at all. It hadn't even been touched.
That's very gross.
The mold that we saw when we first moved and the peeling wallpaper behind it was still there. She had to like scrub clean the shower so that like she felt comfortable, like clean taking a shower, Anyway, it's just gotten worse. Our heating was really spotty this past winter. Like there'd be times where it like literally would not work and it was so cold that I could not sleep here because it was freezing.
So I have a question. I have no reason to think this is true or not, but in like Europe, maybe your experience in Northern Ireland, when it's cold, do you just like be cold, right? Like our people aren't as heinous about like getting their interior temperature like to within a degree of their desire.
My flatmates won't come over. Or you just cold. If it's when it's cold, they won't come over.
Okay, so that's not the case.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't obviously make an account for everybody, but like like it is sort of you deal with it, but are you dealing with it because you're in Ireland, or are you dealing with it because you're a student on a budget who can't pay for heating 24/7?
Yeah, I mean that's kind of true in like New England too. Like,
yeah,
I know people who set their thermostat at like 55 at night in the winter in New England, and I'm just like, I can't even imagine.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what we do here.
Wait, well, why do you do that?
Absolutely not.
Why do you do that?
Yeah, no. So we have like a central heat, like it's a heat pump, right? But it doesn't. It's very expensive to heat the whole house. So we have these gas fireplaces that heat like the rooms that we live in, and then the bedrooms are bone chillingly cold.
Yeah, not a fan.
No. Mm-mm.
I don't know. Yeah.
I'd prefer, but my friend Deli, who I'm living with,
we're all into it. So
their heating is in their rent, so they can keep their heat on all the time, and they won't get charged. So every time I'm over there, it is toasty. Sometimes a little bit. I mean,
what about like what? You know what I'm going to say?
What?
What about like Mother Earth, though?
What do you mean?
Like,
if I'm like bone chillingly cold, Michael, like during exam season, I couldn't sleep in my own bed, dude, because it was so cold and so damp. I can see my breath right now.
Like, yeah, I guess that.
I can see my own breath.
Sure. The gas company sends me these like nasty letters every year where they have like graphs showing me how much more gas I use than my neighbor.
That's hilarious.
Like, screw you! I use cloth grocery bags.
Whatever. Nice.
Oh, we should ask for comments about this because I think most of our viewers are not from the U.S. Okay. I looked at our analytics; only 15% are from the U.S.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, so like, comment: is it cold in your house?
Is it cold in your house? Dude, yeah, fucking cold. And that also isn't good for the dampness. It breeds the mold.
Right.
So I when I went home over Christmas, I was gone for like a month and a half. I have an itty bitty dehumidifier underneath my desk. I mean, it's like not even a foot tall. When I came home, now I don't know for sure, but when I came home, I kept it on while I was away, which I probably honestly.
Wait, you need a dehumidifier like in your normal house, in your normal flat?
What do you mean? Do I need one?
Like that's kind of, yeah.
Well, no, most HVACs have a dehumidifier as like an element of them. Okay. Yeah.
I don't know what those things are.
Okay, cool.
Like your heating system or your heating and AC system has a dehumidifier in it.
Yeah, but if we can't keep that on all the time,
right? Exactly.
Then we don't get to because that's what they sent out in like a tenancy thing to everybody residing in Northern Ireland. They were like saying how over the winter months, make sure you keep your heating on for like this amount of time per day because it will help. It will keep the pipes chilling and we're not chilling warm,
Warming,
not popping or freezing or anything like that. And it will also help with like the mildew or whatever. But when I came home to check my dehumidifier, there was little spores.
Oh, gross.
All up in there. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. And I was sick all last term. Like, I was relatively sick all last term. Not COVID. I was tested and everything. And I think it was because of the dampness in this flat. I go home within like 2 or 3 days. I'm set. I'm fine. Within 1 day coming back here, I get like really congested and sniffly again. And we've told them, not only that, we've told them to pick up, we have this mattress, the mattress that was on my bed originally. You would not sleep on that mattress. You would not sleep on that mattress. Like, that's insulting. It's like yellow. Mm-hmm. I'm not sleeping on that mattress.
No.
And it's so old that, like, I lay on it.
Can you encase it in, like, something totally waterproof?
Yeah, but the springs are so worn. So I fall into it. Like, it is an old mattress.
It's not just the, like, sketchy dirtiness.
It's not just the sketchy dirtiness. Like, it's been around for a while. And so we had an extra one. So I put the extra one. They just happened to have an extra mattress in the store cupboard. So I put it on my bed. We've been telling this guy to come fucking pick this shit up. It's been like sitting in the living room or in the hallway, like in between rooms since we moved in. When we moved in, our freezer didn't work, microwave didn't work.
Like in August.
July. Washer
Wow.
or dryer machine didn't work. Fridge, microwave. Shit just was not functioning at all. And our heating has broke so many times since we've moved in. And yeah.
Seems great.
Oh, it seems great. Lovely. Oh, so then that leads me to this. So my landlord just doesn't give a fuck. Okay. And hopefully it will, because I didn't break it.
I hear he's a listener.
Yeah.
Look at me.
He loves math.
There's it's like a really old set of blinds, wooden blinds were on this window. And I was trying to like take it down in sort of like a fit of just like exhaustion in the morning. I was on FaceTime with my friend and I was just yanking on it because it was stuck. And I was trying to get my blinds down so I could like change, there's like a guest house right across the way that I make eye contact with people with all the time.
Oh God.
I need some I need some type of privacy. So I yank it and the whole thing just comes crashing down. Terrible. I reinstall it myself. And I was bragging to another one of my friends who was here today. And I was like, haha, I'm such a handy girl. You see, I reinstalled it. Right? Yeah, I'm a handy girl. I yank it, shit falls off again. And I was like, I will never hype myself up ever again. And I did not break those lines.
Is some of this why you were podcasting from like study rooms in the library last year?
Because it was cold?
Or just like all of this drama?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I spend most of my time.
Makes sense now.
I literally would be sleeping on people's couches because I could not bear the thought of sleeping and waking up in a cold, damp bed.
Ugh.
Yeah.
And waking up, it's like it's so taking a shower, dude. Not fun.
Yeah. I would just be dirty.
Yeah. That's Chris. I'd just go to my friend's house,
I can get away with
and use
that,
their shower, but you can just be dirty if you want to. Yo, okay, I'll say one more thing and then I can stop talking. But for a little bit at least.
We can look at the outline.
If you go on my dad's YouTube channel, there's a whole bunch of videos of you on there, Michael.
Wait, your dad?
Go onto YouTube.
Okay.
Actually,
okay.
I'm not gonna say. You know my dad's name.
Don't
say it on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just don't say it because I don't want people. There's like home videos and shit on there. I don't want to be blown up.
Oh yeah. It's not like.
It's not like
It's like YouTube as it was in. It's like YouTube as it was intended to be, not like.
My dad would post like little videos, Maggie, and when Michael would come visit us when we lived in the suburbs, we had a trampoline and Michael would do flips and stuff on it.
Of course, yeah.
Of course.
Oh, I found it. Oh yeah, look at this. Should I get one of these videos like 10,000 views?
I'll text my dad and make the other ones private.
I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that. I wield unimaginable power.
Unimaginable.
Not full of myself at all.
Oh, just only a little bit.
Okay, so that was a long sort of like opening.
Yeah, sorry.
We have a guest. No, that's great. We have a guest today, everyone listening. Alexi is not with us because he's covering the girls' state wrestling tournament in Ohio, which is really cool. But we have our first guest ever. We're going to try to have more guests after this first one. I mean, not to make our guests.
I brought in 2 guests.
Being here. Oh, I'm sorry. Anyway. Our guest is Maggie Smith.
The complete and utter disregard for my friends.
Longest friends. Yeah, but they just randomly seem to be at your house or something.
Yeah, they were just with me.
Yeah, so it's like
They
I
were
don't
still
know.
guests, Michael. We introduced them.
Yeah, you're right. I'm wrong. Yeah, I'm definitely wrong. I mean, the setup and the behind the scenes is slightly different, but in practice, I'm totally wrong. And yeah, this is our third guest. But one of them, but I'm not sure any of those were posted to YouTube.
Toxic Productivity was.
Oh, yeah. When we tried to have a serious podcast before we realized it was a comedy podcast.
Or make fun of a Alec podcast.
Okay, yeah. So anyway, our guest today is Maggie Smith from Little Rock, Arkansas, where I grew up. And I don't know, we're just going to catch up and see what things are happening. It's going to be great. Maybe let's just go through kind of our starting of all these conversations and what did we do this week? What was a big event that happened in everyone's week? Who's first? Grace?
No, I need a break from talking for a second. Sorry. Maggie, why don't you tell us?
Oh my gosh.
Cool.
Hat on the keyboard. Hold on. Yeah, I don't know. I had a pretty good week. Monday was Valentine's Day, right? Is that right? Are we still in the same?
Yeah.
Yeah. Monday was Valentine's Day.
Mm-hmm.
And man, what did I do this week? What is that? I don't know. I worked all week and read a lot of books. Man, I don't do anything interesting. You should have thought about this before you.
No, I think maybe you have an interesting job. I mean, it's like important
You
work,
don't have an interesting
right?
life, but you have an interesting job, is what
I
Michael
do
just
have an
said.
interesting job. I have a very boring life, but a very interesting job. I work at a large system of cancer treatment centers, and I am an attorney. I work in so I do a couple of different things. My title is Denials and Financial Risk Mitigation Manager, and I manage like a small team. But what we do is when a claim is denied, we have a team like in the business office that handles like routine denials, but for the complex denials or the high dollar denials or the systemic denials, we handle that. But also we handle contracting with the insurance companies. Basically, I bully insurance companies into paying for people's cancer treatment. Like that's the easiest way to explain like what my job is.
Dope.
Yeah, that's very cool. I mean, in a perfect world, that job wouldn't need to exist. Right?
Exactly.
But if it needs to exist, I'm glad that you were doing it.
Yeah, it's really great. And I get to talk to patients sometimes. I get to I get to write a lot of sassy emails and letters, and that's really fun. So
nice. Michael?
Oh, so am I going?
Michael?
It's at me? Okay, so it was our third week of classes for this semester. I'm teaching one class right now. Intro to Proofwriting. It's really good. It's like one of my favorite classes to teach. It's honestly like the math part is not very hard. It's just, sort of the grammar of writing proofs and the logic of writing proofs. I honestly think that it should be a requirement for everyone to take a class like that. I think it's a really good skill.
Is this the one where you do a lot of like tables?
Yeah, so that's kind of an old school way to do it.
I think when I took it was called like was it I think I took something similar.
Yeah, I bet you took discrete
that's
math.
What I took.
So discrete math is a version of a class like this. Yeah. So yeah. So there are a couple of different ways of getting at this material, and under the discrete math umbrella has been historically a really popular way to get at this material. So that's been good. I released a video on the YouTube channel where we had a weird little trailer with my interns, and the first video that they're doing with their little skit and stuff is going to come out. That should be awesome. I'm putting together the first seminar series for the Patreon which should be interesting. A big other news is like we have this RV, this camper, and we found a place to park it near rock climbing area in West Virginia, so we can just like roll up and sleep there and leave it like so that we can drive our normal car. I think that's it. Yeah, those are the things.
It does have to be a highlight.
No, it doesn't really matter, right?
I am thoroughly insulted by my university at the moment. Okay. Thoroughly insulted. They canceled my first home lacrosse game.
Oh, you were very excited about that.
I was very excited about it. They canceled it due to weather conditions. Now, to be fair, it has been stormy the past couple days, whatever. It was not stormy on Saturday. And on top of that, they did not cancel the football games. So I just think...
Oh, wait. Oh, you mean football, like soccer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I know. I don't like that.
No, I mean, like, yeah. I don't think one is better than the other. It's just like I'm conditioned to think of the other football.
Yeah, no. So they let soccer.
Yeah.
Soccer. They let soccer.
That's pretty lame.
Right? Isn't that... I was a little insulted.
Yeah.
What was their, like, reasoning?
Oh, they literally, they texted, emailed us and was just like, yeah, I'm sorry, we're going to have to cancel your pitch space because of the weather conditions. That was it.
That's so strange.
But it's the same pitches? Is that the plural?
Yeah, pitches.
It's the same pitches that the football
There's multiple
squads use?
Well, it's...
I'm trying to be as British as possible.
For their matches.
Cheerio.
For their matches. Wearing their kits. Kits are uniforms.
Yeah, no, I know.
Oh, really?
That. Yeah, I watched.
I didn't get it.
Whatever
it took me a while to catch on.
Apple TV show was. Yeah, Ted Lasso.
So that really put a bummer to my Saturday. I just kind of did nothing instead. Actually, yeah, no, I really did nothing instead because that really hurt my feelings deeply. I would like the university to apologize to me if they're watching this. But
the university as a whole.
I heard they are.
Yeah. Oh, they're going to be held accountable. But a highlight, I had a presentation. So all my lectures are supposed to be on the strike this week, but one of my lectures was very considerate.
Or a scab, I think is what you're saying.
He decided to hold seminar tutorials. So he started off being like, I stand in support.
Oh, maybe explain to Maggie what the deal is.
Yeah. So like I think it's Universities and College Union. I don't know if it's just in the UK. There may be one back home. There definitely has to be like a professors union for people in the US too, I assume. They're not being paid for like a lot of their pay is getting lowered. And they're already not paid for a lot of the work that they do. So there's like on the level of like lectures and like higher tiers, it's like they're not being paid for the amount of research hours that is required for them to do their research, to be published
right.
on top of teaching and prepping material for classes. So they're not being paid for that research time to read, which is a massively huge part of the process, especially in like humanities, and like in philosophy and history. Like you got to do a lot of reading and research. And I assume
my dad and my brother are both professors, so
you get it. You see, it's a lot. They're not getting paid for that, and also like TAs aren't. They're only being paid for the hours that they're in, like a classroom with students, which again also doesn't take into consideration the prep work and material time that they need for that other stuff. And like a whole bunch, they're not getting like pensions and stuff, so they're like not going to be able to retire at the same, like with enough rights. So it's just all that stuff. So they were on strike this entire week. Next week, they're going to be on strike from like Monday to Wednesday. The following week, it's going to be like Wednesday to Thursday or Wednesday to Friday or something like that. So a huge portion of my 12-week term is being impacted by it, which is totally fine. I stand in support. I'm all for it. And my lectures are cool, and they're not gonna, if we don't do work during those weeks, they're like, it's okay, neither are we. But yeah, so one of my lecturers decided to hold the seminars, and he was like, I stand in solidarity with what's going on, but I also am aware that these strikes happened last year and the year before, and COVID was also a big part of, obviously, our first year. And so he was like, because you guys have lost so much class time, I'm going to hold this. But anyway, I had a presentation, and it was the first one for this new set of like topics that we were doing, and I did it with my friend Risa, and we did really good, and he really liked it.
What was the topic?
Oh God. What was it? It was on, so the course is called Identity Politics in Diverse Societies, and it's mostly European based, examples and stuff, but it's basically theorizing like not what human rights are, but like what human rights are in relation to minority rights and how those differ, and how you can have universal human rights, but they're not applied to every single person for different reasons, and how certain groups are obviously like discriminated against. So there's like these 4 aspects of like the right to existence, or the conceptualization of minority rights. Like there's 4 sections to it, and the first one is annihilation. That will impact minority rights, discrimination, assimilation, and marginalization. So we were doing annihilation, which kind of covers like bits and pieces of the other ones. But yeah, no, it was like first, and then there's 3 dimensions of annihilation. And annihilation is like ethnic cleansing, war crimes, genocide.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's 3 dimensions of that. It's all very meta. Like we're talking about what these things should be and what they should mean and why they mean what they mean. Which kind of hurts my brain sometimes. But it's like physical and psychological safety, economic prosperity, like preventing poverty, like falling below the poverty line. And then, what was the last one? The right to have rights. For some reason, those dimensions are like a big part of annihilation. Anyway, we did a whole thing on it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was a lot. We did it the night before, and we did really
Sounds
good.
great.
He complimented us twice. Well, he complimented us in class, in the tutorial, online on Canvas, and he emailed us privately.
Nice.
Whoa.
Wow!
You guys are winning.
So I'm really excited about that. That was a major highlight.
That's great.
Made up for my lacrosse game being canceled.
Yeah. Do you have another lacrosse game coming up?
We don't know.
Oh, because it's like it's more informal, so the season is not as like.
Yeah, like we host our game days.
Bummer.
I was gonna ref a game too.
Aw.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah. So like we.
Have you ever done that?
Nice. Yeah, but they don't. It's very casual. They don't really know.
Yeah.
They don't really know how to ref anyway. But I didn't say that. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. So I thought we'd talk a little bit about the history of the podcast because Maggie actually plays a strange role in the history of the podcast that she does not know, nor does anyone else.
Did you
know.
consider her as one of your
Spoiler alert.
I got it.
Okay, so it was during COVID. So like yesterday? No, I mean like at the beginning. And I was like really sad as you are sometimes, right? And I was like, I don't feel connection to anyone because we're like aliens in this city that we live in and stuff. And I was like, I need some sort of reason to connect with someone. And so I was like, maybe I'll start a podcast. And then Sandra was like, no, you do too much already. And I was like, nah, I'll do it. It'll be great. And so I first contacted this person named Tara Irwin. Do you know Tara
remember
Irwin?
Tara.
Yeah. So her and I hung out in Hendrix a little bit, and we always like got on these. We riffed off of each other when other people were in earshot and tried to make them laugh. And we made a joke that we like had a radio show together, but then she didn't really get it. She didn't really see the vision. And then I asked my friend Catherine Tennell. Do you know Catherine Tennell? Okay, she's from Little Rock. She was homeschooled, but she somehow knows like some people that are like in the same like social circle. I know her from rock climbing. So the year that I lived in Arkansas between grad school and grad school, so between Indiana and New York, I went climbing with her. And so she like does van life now. And she was in Colorado the same time I was over the summer. And we like randomly met up and like went to lunch or whatever. And I was like, we should start a podcast together. We even came up with an idea. And the idea, it was going to be called Cold Call. And we like randomly chose someone from our past to reconnect with. And it was just a podcast of reconnection. It's kind of also based on the idea that everyone has like an interesting voice and an interesting story. But then I don't know, she wasn't psyched. And then
I'm sorry.
I asked Grace and Alex's mom.
Not even us.
AKA my sister, my half sister, because, well, I don't know, she's awesome, right?
Yeah,
Would you agree to that, cool. Grace?
She's pretty cool.
Yeah. So she's a managing director of the Broadway
stage directors and
choreographers union. So she's like kind of a big deal.
Just a little bit.
And so I was like, fancy. Wouldn't it be sweet?
Fancy
like,
with a lowercase f.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. She knows famous people and stuff, right?
Fancy with a lowercase f. She'll get that. She'll understand that.
Oh, yeah. She's a listener. She knows famous people, right?
Kind of. They're only famous if you're into theater.
Right. I was going to say, like, theater people are famous, like, in a very niche way.
Yeah.
I would be very impressed, but, like, not universally.
Yeah. That's true. But then she was like, no, like, I don't, it seems like we need a topic and we'd have to do research and stuff. And I was like, oh man, that seems like a lot of work. And then she suggested you guys, and you guys said yes. But somewhere in the middle there, I was going to reach out to Maggie. But I kind of, after getting turned down by a lot of people, I didn't have the guts.
So he settled for some adolescence.
You can, but I mean, it did bring this nice theme of like intergenerational discussion, right?
And also like,
because you're young and I'm like old AF.
I mean, I'm basically the same age you are, so.
No, I mean, yeah. Grace is young.
Like, wait.
Michael, how old are you? Just out of curiosity.
I'm 42.
What?
I know.
I thought, dude, I was talking about you to my friend, and I could have sworn you're like mid-30s.
No, I just act like a child.
Dope. Same.
No, I just like, I don't know. I have had this like sort of static existence where I just grabbed on to like certain things that I do when I was young and I never changed them.
Like speaking of awkward intergenerational things, I like awkwardly married someone really young.
Oh, yeah. How old is he?
He's 33.
Oh, that's not a huge difference,
only about a decade.
Right?
Yeah, not a big deal.
Oh, I was thinking you got married really young.
No. I married someone who
I was like, 33 is not young to get married.
I married someone who is a lot younger. And it's the only time it is like really weird is like weird, like every once in a while it's like a show that he watched when he was little and I'm like, I've never heard of that show and it sounds bananas. Like,
yeah. absolutely bananas.
But most of the time, it doesn't come up. So
no fair.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Like, obviously, if you look at like a decade in terms of like a 10-year-old and a 20-year-old, that's weird, right? But like, it's so like I'll talk about it with my friends too. Like, I know my parents have an age gap, and it's like probably like 7 years. I think I don't really know. I'm not gonna lie, but like my one of my really good friends here, like her parents have like a significant age gap, like a significant, and it's just like it happened back then. It can happen now. I don't know why people get so.
I was I was doing that thing one day where like your brain goes through like a whole conversation, but you only say like the last part. And so I was sitting like thinking like and just like at the end of the whole thought process, I just blurted out to him like, I'm really glad I never babysat for you. Because that would have made it awkward.
That would have been just a little bit weird.
Yeah.
That would have been a little bit weird.
And
yeah,
like totally plausible that both of us growing up in Little Rock that could have happened. So,
did you like growing up in Little Rock, guys?
Don't know if I liked growing up in Little Rock. I was thinking about this earlier, and I was like, I don't remember a whole lot about it. I think I liked it.
So, I think I did like it too, but I don't know if I'm just romanticizing it. So, and I don't know if it's because I just have not had stability of place since I lived there.
And also, like, I really like it now. So I think, like, also that sort of colors my perception of what it was like growing up here.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, so since living in Little Rock, I've lived in like 8 different places or something. Mm-hmm. And none of them for very long. And so it just, even though I haven't been back there in a long time, it still sort of has a place in my heart for me.
So were you guys friends in high school?
Yeah, we were really good friends in high school.
Oh, Michael, that's so good. You had a friend.
I had a lot of friends.
Wow.
I'm just kidding. Alec isn't here. I can't make fun of Alec.
Oh, yeah, that's true. No, my social ineptitude. No, maybe it was around back then.
You were well. So, like, one thing I was remembering is like when I met when you started it. Like, you had. Did you did you start at Central in 10th grade, or did you? Okay, so we both started Central, but like I was coming.
Yeah, so you went to Dunbar and I went to Man.
But like I feel like for some reason I thought that you went to like private school or something like that. I don't know. You had like I felt like you were very. You just felt like very sheltered when I first met you for some reason.
Oh yeah. No, that's my mom.
Why? What did Priscilla do?
She just like, I grew up in the suburbs and I was like really sheltered and I don't know, I never did anything bad. Mm. I mean, I still, I don't know. I like never grew out of just being
a good person,
sort of a pristine non-rule breaker. For what it's
How about
worth.
you, Maggie? Would you say the same about yourself?
No, I was a complete shit in high school. I did not go to class very often. And
that's true. I remember that.
I was not there. I showed up sometimes for lunch, and that's it.
Michael needed that kind of energy in his life. To see the other side.
Oh, so Maggie, you can speak to this a little bit. This came up not in the last episode that we recorded, but the last episode that was posted. I posited this idea. You know how like in media, there's this big thing about like, oh, there's bullying in high school and stuff is so terrible. I don't remember there being any bullying at all.
One of the things I've thought about is that like because we had like Central is a really large school. Like our graduating class was like probably close to 500 people. Is that about right, Michael? And so I think like when you have a critical mass like that, of course you have like cliquishness and you have like people with different friend groups, but like when you have so many people, you don't get like the kind of like bullying, I think, just because everybody has their own friends and everybody kind of stays out of each other's way. I don't know.
Right. Yeah. I never put the size together with that, but that makes a lot of sense. For some reason, I attributed it to magic.
It could also be that. We really actually, weirdly, like, I feel like we kind of did have, like, sort of a magical graduating class. Like, we had so many, like, really fantastic people who I still love and adore in our graduating class.
Who have gone on to do crazy things.
Yeah. So, I don't know. So that could have been magic.
Maybe, yeah. Did you ever visit Arkansas, Grace?
Yeah, I went. I think I only went once or twice, and I have very vivid images of that house.
Like my dad, your grandfather's house.
Yeah, and it was. Well, you were there with us once. I remember this.
Oh, probably so. Like, he brought a bunch of the family together, but then, like, whenever that happens, it's just really me and your family hanging out and like being awkward around the others.
I think it was just us. I think it was me, you, my mom, Alec. Okay. I don't even think Sandra was there. Maybe she was. I don't know. But yeah, no, I went a couple times, and I have very vivid images of walking into the right being that massive. I mean, it was probably not that big, but I was little, so I thought it was really big. Like that big living room with all of his like trophies and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And like he had this little like bar in the back, like Havana, hula girl type deal in the back, and then and then to the left there's like a dining room and then the kitchen. And I remember Tina, his wife, always having like a really big box of those filled with those tiny boxes of cereal.
Oh, I remember that as well.
Yeah. And I remember like
a hotel.
Yeah. And have you've been to visit them in Tennessee, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And she leaves you a little gift basket in your room.
No.
Oh, wow.
No, I don't get anything.
A little gift basket.
Well, I bring the feral children, and she's like,
But
feral children.
What we did was Grandpa wanted to teach Alec, and well, I don't know if he had already taught you, but shoot guns with you guys in the backyard.
Oh, I have a photo of that day. Sandra shooting a gun.
Sandra was there.
She was there.
Yeah, and I remember like not being allowed to.
Yeah, that's the sound of the gun.
What?
Sorry, I derailed the conversation for like just a one-liner.
Okay. But I remember not being able. I was not eligible. I did not fit the height requirement for shooting a gun. I must have been like 8.
Oh yeah.
I was really young.
Yeah.
And I remember Grandpa made a really big deal about you guys shooting armadillos in the backyard, and no armadillos came because he had a whole bunch of holes in his backyard, like armadillo holes, and none of them came out. So you guys were just shooting into air the entire time.
No, I think we're like shooting at a can or something.
Well,
I don't remember that,
but the goal was to shoot with armadillos. Because I was like, am I about to watch my grandpa, my uncle, and my brother murder an armadillo? Is that really what
I'm pretty sure I bailed before that.
Yeah. I don't think you or Alec really like latched onto it, and I think it may have hurt Grandpa's feelings a little bit.
Oh, yeah. We're not very manly. I mean, I guess like we need to redefine that term or whatever, but that's not as like what I want to get into.
Not PC, not PC.
Okay. Oh, I don't know.
Politically correct.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Grace. I thought that was some sort of crazy Gen Z slang. Okay. So Maggie and I went to high school together, and then
that has been established.
We hung out when we were in college, right?
I went to I was at UCA for part. Well, I lived in Austin for a couple years, and then
you like floated around.
I went to a few colleges, and it took me a long time to get my shit together, and And
Me too.
And so I lived in Austin. But then when I came back, I went to UCA. So I was in Conway, and we hung out after I got back to Arkansas. Yeah.
Right. And you first studied like elementary education or something when you were a teacher.
Wow.
That's a different
Second
life.
grade.
Wow.
So, no, keep going. I have a question.
Okay.
Though.
I taught second grade in San Antonio. I lived there for a little bit. And then I went to law school. And we were roommates when I was in law school. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty sweet apartment.
And
yeah. And then I failed out of grad school and had to leave.
And basically
because
same,
it was too hard.
Because I was having like a personal crisis.
Oh yeah. I've had that a couple times.
Same.
Yeah. So did you finish?
I did.
Law
Yeah,
school?
I finished law school. I graduated
Arkansas?
from Indiana. I just did like my last semester as a visiting student here. So yeah.
Oh, got it.
So, but my degree is from IU. So
cool. Yeah. No, I failed the prelims and they made me leave. Yeah.
They were like,
that was cool.
They were like, you're clearly not good enough at math. You showed them.
Yeah. Did I though? I mean, there's this like one thing where I've done some successful math stuff. Like I've written a bunch of papers and I have this weird math YouTube thing, but still like as far as like getting employment in academia, I've been pretty unsuccessful. Like I guess I've tenure at a school now, but my school is like not doing very well. And I have never like really been successful on the job market. So it's unclear like how all of those things add up.
I have a weird question kind of about like math. It's not really about math. It's about like how it feels to be good at math. Can I ask a weird question? Can this be a math podcast for a second? No, okay. So
I think people would like that. You took some math classes. I realized that.
My last job before I started being a lawyer, being a lawyer means that you have like these sort of general skills that can apply to a lot of different kinds of content. So my last job before I started working in healthcare was in power and utilities and electricity contracts and things like that. So I actually started working on a degree in electrical systems engineering, and I have about half. I have a little more than half of a degree in electrical systems engineering right now. And I actually took a lot of math classes. I took like enough for a math minor, basically. And I have like a 4.0 I got A's in all these like ridiculous math classes in like calculus 1, 2, and 3 and like equations and linear algebra and all that. And I have no idea. Like here's the thing. Like everything else I've ever been good at academically, like I felt good at it. I felt like it made sense to me. Like I'm really good at languages. I'm really good at like other things.
Oh. I think I know where you're going.
Never did that. Like it never felt like that. Like I never felt like anything clicked. I never felt like, I understand what's going on here. I can like look at this problem and know what I'm supposed to do with it. Like none of that ever happened for me. And is that normal?
Yes. Wow. No, like being a mathematician is just like a lot of it is being uneasy and confused. Man,
it's not a great feeling.
Yeah. And no. You really have to be willing to just poke in the dark until... Jeez, Grace. What are you doing over there?
Sorry, what did I do? Did I hit the microphone?
You're like making all the noise.
I'm sorry. Can I be completely honest? So I mentioned this before. I have ADD, okay? And I did not take my meds today. It's Sunday. I did not take my meds. So if I'm not talking, I have to move something. So I'm thinking in my head, I'm being hella productive multitasking right now, listening to y'all talk about math and cleaning up my desk area. I think I'm being so efficient. I'll stop. I didn't want to be rude. I'm sorry.
No, it's good. It's good. It was a good. It's a good story.
Can I just throw out this bag?
Can you sprinkle it some more?
Crumple it, yeah. Okay, so yeah, math. It's a lot of poking in the dark until
all the
you
way down a
find
rabbit
like.
hole, only to figure out that you should have started with something completely different and having to go all the way back to the beginning. And like that, I mean,
Trust issues.
Uh-huh.
yeah, it made me feel like very sad all the time. Okay,
Yeah,
just
no,
making
this
sure.
is typical. I mean, I hate to say it, but that's typical. Like,
Because I've thought about, like, now that I don't really need a degree in engineering, I've thought about, like, well, I've got this like whole sunk cost fallacy, right? Where I'm like, I've got all these classes, what am I gonna like? I don't have anything like to show for it. I'm like, well, maybe I could just get a math degree because I'm like, it would only take like a few more classes to get a math degree, right?
Oh yeah, and to be honest, the ones that are left are awesome.
I get that, but yeah.
But I mean, also like, you like have a job in your chosen path, right? You could just like know the math, like that could have been what you took away from it. That you like know this stuff and it rounded you in a way that wouldn't have otherwise.
There's like a dick waving component for sure about like having a degree though, like.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I mean, so when we advise students, so many students want to like double major or people want to like triple major now, which is like the craziest thing ever. And I'm like,
I don't even want to major.
It doesn't matter. Like you have to do a major because that's how you graduate, but just like take a bunch of classes in the other stuff. It doesn't matter if you get like the other, word on your diploma or whatever, but they don't believe me.
Isn't it? But I feel like it's interesting that you say that because, like, I don't know, the advice that I've received, and maybe they are generally from a bunch of theater people, so let that mean whatever it means. But a lot of people like study, major and stuff, get a degree in something, and then do something completely different anyway. Yeah. So what's the point in trying to like max out,
get 2 or 3,
max out on degrees, right?
No, you're right.
I don't know. That's the advice that I've received. Like I have a feeling I'm not going into academia for sure.
Yeah, I know very few people who have a degree that is related to their specific undergraduate major, regardless of what their specific undergraduate major is. Like, unless they went on to like advanced degrees in the same subject. Hey, Grace, you're muted.
Right. I mean,
yeah, that would be
Is she?
How long was I muted for?
Just a few seconds.
Not very long. Cool. Yeah.
I was like, I just had like a whole.
I mean, this is like a hard sell nowadays, right? But the point of, advanced education is not to learn something to contribute to society. It's like to better yourself, and bettering yourself makes a better society, right? It's not about like what you can produce for the machine.
I have the opposite opinion.
I mean, I guess like philosophically, that's what I believe. So you feel like
there's two kinds of society
no point
you're talking about though. Like one is like capitalism, and one is like the good of the populace, right?
Yes.
Right, absolutely.
And fuck capitalism.
Now, because you can take.
Oh yeah, we're leftist here for some reason.
But you can take a degree. There's certain degrees that you can take directly into a capitalist institution, right? But then there's, on the other hand, those which tend to be more humanities, don't go down that route. You can't really apply directly those humanities degrees to what they go to directly is like academia. So if we're talking about like philosophically better for humankind, where was I going with that sentence?
Is people should study what they're interested in so they're happy.
Well, yeah, and you're never going to be.
Yeah, but they're in debt.
I mean, obviously that part has to be fixed because they shouldn't be in debt. Oh, and they can't make money afterwards. That part should be fixed too. I mean, I think all those things are fixable with
I don't know. I'm losing hope.
I don't know.
I lose an itty bitty bit of faith every day. Can I ask you guys a question?
Every day. Oh, speaking of that, this is a little bit related to that. Last semester, I had a bit of a breakdown in one of my classes that I was teaching. I was like, "Hey, fresh-faced 20-year-olds and 19-year-olds out there, you know how like when you're an adult and you're going to have it all figured out? That's a lie."
So with that in mind, what question do you want to ask us?
Thank you, Maggie, for directing the attention back to that question I didn't get to ask yet. Jesus, Michael.
Sorry.
So I want to ask you two in particular this because you guys have more years under your belt than my brother, and also I already know about my brother's love life, and I don't want his advice. So I have some friends who are having a hard time with some relationships. And I feel like right now it's sort of like that weird in between of like they're like one of them's their open relationship. He's in a different country. She's here. One of them broke up because of long distance. One of them they met on a dating app here and they're still here. But like how long it's gonna last, we don't know. Like I don't know. Feeling like you have to have like love and companionship figured out. Like what were you guys thinking at this, like at my age, at like 20, and like reflecting on that now? What is like your take on the whole building a life with somebody shenanigans? I'm not asking because like I'm trying to do it like right this very second. I'm just curious. Like if you thought the same thing that I like, or that people are like worried about now, or if you like had a relationship at such age and how you managed to get over it, or was it just like you just had to grow up? I don't know. That was kind of like that was more of like a topic. I guess.
Okay, like so I'm somebody who's like almost never been single. Like pretty much always dating someone or with somebody, and like I had a later, like my hoe phase was like in my early 30s probably. So like
I like that term.
So like I don't know, like and then I got married when I was like my husband and I started dating seriously when I was around 35, and we got married when I was 38. So I don't know, like I guess like in terms of whether like you like the question of like whether you need to like settle down with I mean, like I don't know, like I guess at times I felt serious about people. I wouldn't have been like dating somebody monogamously if I didn't feel like have serious feelings about them, you know. But at the same time, like I don't think you know, like I don't think I mean, you know, it's I guess the biggest piece of advice that I give to like other people, especially women who are dating men, is I think at least for me, because at least for me, like I think there's this we're told that like relationships take work and like it's like relationships are like hard, and I think that's kind of all bullshit. Like I think that doesn't need to be true. I think like for me, like my relationship with my husband is like just super easy, and like I think like when I found somebody who I was like really long-term compatible with, it doesn't feel difficult at all. So I don't know.
Yeah, I was thinking about that the other day because it's like I personally don't really believe in love to an extent. I'm not gonna lie. I don't really think I ever had like a ideal of it either set out in front of me. But me and my friend, one of my friends here, we're on two opposite paths in terms of like where we're coming from for relationships. So like I started probably with like the most toxic relationship I've ever been in. And I'm trying to get to that healthy, easiest, like seamless kind of thing where like I don't have to like really work, you know? Because I don't. That's how it
Yeah.
work. Why am I going to put in all this effort for someone who can choose to leave and has no, like, I mean, that sounds like, well, if you're married, I guess you are bound,
you can still choose to
but
leave them.
they can still leave you. I'm sorry.
Yeah, they can still choose. I mean, hopefully.
Yeah, and I hope not, right? But yeah, like, I don't know. I think friendships are different, So I don't know. And she's her first relationship very healthy, has always had very healthy relationships. And so now she's like, I want toxic. I want somebody to like, yeah. And it's just like, I don't know. I'm like, Lonnie, I actually can't talk to you about this because every waking moment of me trying with somebody is to not be that, because I hate that, and that sucks. So we're just like two ends of the spectrum, and that's why I think it's like people are like, oh, like my first introduction to love was like, oh, there's like that one person, you're gonna be together, it's gonna be beautiful for the rest of your life, da 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 da. Then boom, second wave about what love is, oh, you gotta work for it, it doesn't just stay, you have to maintain it, da 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 da. And now I'm like, wait, I'm confused though. So that whole thing was just a myth. The whole soulmate shenanigans. It's like, Ben, I agree.
I don't think there's.
Yeah,
I don't think there's
like,
one person.
But I think there's like definitely like people. There's like a compatibility factor for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
And I don't think it's like zero work, but it shouldn't be that hard of work, right? Like, of course, if you're going through some shit in your personal life, well, that's not going to be that easy, and that's going to spill over. I mean, and in yourself, I don't mean in your relationship.
Yeah.
And the same thing for them, and you'll have to support
you
them
mentioned
during
having
that.
ADD, like I have ADHD, and like so that's something that we both like deal with, because especially like sharing a house with somebody, there are things that come up that create like conflict and stress, and those are things that obviously like you have to navigate those things. But just because you're navigating conflict doesn't mean that it's stressful or difficult,
Yeah. I just try to avoid conflict at like.
It's interesting. Costs. The other thing that I learned with Booth, my husband, is that like I thought that like I had to like really. This is gonna sound so bad. I thought that I had to like develop like a really healthy conflict style and like really like work on myself a lot. And it turns out I didn't have to do that. I just had to find somebody who had like an unhealthy conflict style that was like really compatible with my unhealthy conflict style. And where like we both like where they're just like really well matched, and we both navigate conflict well.
Where you can both kind of be like, nah, I fucked up.
What I kind of get like, I'm kind of like a hothead, and he kind of clams up, and that gives me time to kind of like cool off, and it like works perfectly. And like neither of us really, like we're both pretty happy at the end of the day. So
nice. What about you, Michael?
I don't like have a lot of experience, right? So I've only really dated 2 people. And one of them is Sandra, and we've been together forever, and we've been like generally happy the whole time. So I don't know. There's just...
What do you do to Michael? You can elaborate.
Like, what do you mean?
Like, so how does that like it clearly doesn't sound like you're always on the tip of your toes, keeping shit from falling to bricks, right? Exactly.
No.
So there has to be a reason why that is.
I don't know. We just live our lives together, and it's all fine.
That seems dope.
I mean, maybe I don't know. Like, she will not be on the podcast,
which is fine.
Which is fine. Yeah. That's not a big deal, right?
Yeah.
But maybe she could speak to that or something. Yeah. I don't know.
Like, it's like no answer, no comment.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know what to say, right?
Wait, who did you date? No.
Do we say this person's name?
Don't say their name. I'll think of it. And then I'll blurt it out.
Like
You can always text
initials.
Text it in the chat box.
Initials.
Right. Okay, now
SK.
I remember. Okay, that's right. I remember that person.
I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
I was totally broken by that person.
Ew.
For years, I was broken by that person.
I've had some really toxic. I've had like one really toxic relationship, and I've had some bad breakups that were really, really devastating emotionally. But like the emotional devastation of a breakup isn't like indicative of like anything about the relationship, you know.
Your potential.
It has nothing to do with whether I was supposed to be with that person or whether like I like that person or anything. It's more than anything about my ego, honestly.
Yeah. It's so, yeah. I don't know. I feel like that's crazy, Michael. I like outnumber you and I'm like half your age. Which is not a flex on my part. Which is not a flex at all on my part.
I mean, well, nor is it on my part or whatever. Like, like every path is okay, right?
Like, I mean,
it's not like my path is better than any other path. It's just this is like what happened.
Yeah.
I mean, like if like, you know.
Yeah, I'm thankful for my experiences 100%. Do I sometimes wish they never happened? Totally. Do I sometimes wish maybe I would be better off being, just not having experience? Yeah. But then I'm also like, wait a second. I'm 20 and I've been chucked the fuck back and forth between shit. And now it's like I really like, not that like the next person I date is going to be who I marry because like, no.
Right.
But I don't know. It definitely did equip me with some preventative measures and experiences. So it's like almost like any new experience isn't going to be completely foreign. Like I've been cheated on. I've been ghosted, cut off. Like bad shit. So if it happens again, it's just sad because it happened again. But it's also like I've been through it before, so like I don't know. Easier to get over, I guess. I guess is what I'm saying.
Yeah. And like both the people I was like in a relationship with, I mean, it was all fine. I mean, the first one ended just because like we were moving apart, like physically, and it was like not really reasonable to stay together. It wasn't, nothing bad happened.
Yeah, but that almost sucks more.
Also, like when I was, Luke and I met when I was like 31, and we dated for a little bit when I was 32, and then stopped seeing each other for like a few years, and didn't start dating again until I was like 35. So, yeah.
Oh, interesting.
So we stayed friends, like, but we dated for like a few months.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cute.
It just wasn't the right time. Like,
yeah.
So,
yeah.
Like I think, like,
yeah.
I don't know, because like when I was talking about like how lucky you were to like find like somebody you're compatible with, I was like, man, like sometimes I wish I had met Booth when I was younger, and I was like, well, number one, he would have been a child, so that wouldn't have been cool, but like
would have been first and foremost illegal.
He would have been in like middle school, but also like, like we did meet when I was like he was like 23 or whatever, but like like it just wasn't the right time. So sometimes it's just timing also, and not even really about it being the right person. Yeah.
Weird.
Right. Yeah. Everyone has to be in the right place in their personal journey for it to be right.
Word.
Does that feel like sage advice, Grace?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Michael, we don't really have the best role models for healthy, loving relationships.
My parents have been married 4 times. So like I'm kind of in the same boat where like I have no like my dad and my stepmom have actually been married forever now and are like madly in love, but growing up I didn't have like a model of like what a healthy romantic relationship was. So
yeah,
same. And it sucks, but then
Yeah, my parents are both remarried, but they don't like the people they're married to. But
let's
they're
really
like
hope they don't
too
listen
old to do
this.
anything.
Yeah, no, you're so right. I mean, I don't know about.
They're
God.
too old to do anything about
I
it.
love Priscilla. I miss Priscilla.
Yeah,
I really
she's great.
enjoyed.
I don't think I ever
Priscilla.
met your dad.
Makes sense.
Yeah, we never took a trip out to the farm.
I think we did at one point just to like pick something up, but I think I stayed in the car or something.
Or you just like
I don't know, like I don't
to him
remember.
or something.
But I mean I know I met your mom because didn't your mom grow up with my mom or something?
Yeah. They both grew up in Heber Springs.
Mm-hmm.
Magical, yeah. I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. My dad doesn't live in Arkansas anymore.
Where
He
in
lives
Tennessee?
in Tennessee.
Fairfield?
Outside Knoxville. His address
no, I just
is
like generally what part.
Yeah, no, it's outside. It's like an hour from Knoxville. It's an hour from Knoxville in like a community where like
should I not have said that?
It's not a retirement community, but it's like a community where
There's
essentially only retired people live. And then my mom lives in Houston.
Nice. Texas, baby.
So like I don't have any family in Arkansas. I have no reason to go back there. And it like kills me. Maybe should I just come back and like see people?
Absolutely,
would you like hang out with me if I came back?
Awesome.
Do you think I could maybe like
sleep on your couch?
Give a talk at UALR and then like expense the trip? Maybe they would hire me.
The chair of the math department's really
nice.
He taught my differential equations class. He was great. I don't remember his name.
Oh yeah, who is it?
Online class, but I remember that he was really nice.
Nice. I teach differential
equations
didn't mind
sometimes
that
class as much as some of the others.
Yeah. I'm not a huge fan. Like,
right?
You know, I'm like a pure mathematician. Yeah, exactly. I'm like a pure mathematician, and I think like the appropriate way to do differential equations nowadays is with a lot of modeling and with a lot of applications. But I don't really have the mind to do that without a lot of extra work put into it. But then I've got all this other stuff to do, so it's hard to put the extra work into. So, I mean, we have a fun class, but we do model like a zombie apocalypse, which is cool, but we don't do a lot of stuff that I think could be awesome. Anyway, that's sort of inside.
I also loved my linear algebra professor was amazing.
Talk or whatever.
He was really, really, really cool. And he had a Russian name. I don't remember his name either. It's really it's been a few years, y'all.
Yeah. I'm making a video series on linear algebra right now on the second YouTube channel.
Well, the first one.
No, on the second one. I have 3.
What's the second one for?
So I have the main channel, which is like 204,000 subscribers. I have Math Major. So the main channel got too big to put up course videos, like just course teaching videos.
Wait, why? I don't know why.
Because it just messes with, it's like really inside YouTube stuff. Let me use that phrase like 6 times. It's like all with the algorithm and like, keeping like a unified fan base and stuff or whatever. Yeah, pretty much.
Fuck the system.
No. And so I made the second channel called Math Major, which is just like courses and stuff.
Courses?
And eventually,
I know what you mean.
Eventually it'll be like also interviews with grad students and other people like that about how to succeed in math and stuff like that. And it has like 4,000 subscribers, and that's where I have 7 linear algebra videos so far. And then the third channel is the podcast channel, which is what everyone's listening to right now.
We are at the current moment. Yeah, I actually was talking to Alec, and I decided to be like a really nice sister and say basically that like I can see how it may be stressful because he has a lot of responsibilities and also a lot of added responsibilities that are like creative but good for his work, like him staying to take photos of like the girls wrestling thing, like, you know, do it, bro. I support it, right?
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, do it. Yeah, me too.
But I texted him after last week's, or not last week, that was just earlier this week because we recorded twice this week. I texted him afterwards and I was like, hey, like if you do need help with any part of like the publishing process, because like I do know he has to do it on all platforms, and he's also editing. Got a whole bunch of other shit. So I told him I can take one thing off of his plate to help him, and he said that I can do the publishing on the podcast platform.
Other platforms,
but he never followed up with how.
Oh yeah, because you need a file for that.
A file?
Well, like you need the podcast file to put it onto the other platforms.
You're making it look physical, tangible, right? And that's really confusing.
That's how I think about things. Like,
yeah, that's
just
totally fair.
Tangibize everything. That's a word. I don't know. You guys don't even
now I'm feeling like I need like a brick or something.
Yeah, but he never gave you a file, is what I'm saying. Like a file of the podcast.
Does that require like? Does he even edit them?
Well, I think so. Your mom's going to be a guest.
Is she? My mom's coming to Belfast.
Huh?
Oh, Maggie. So.
And so is Grandpa.
I apologize for not asking you. You can be a recurring guest sometimes if you want to. This is what it is. This is
we're
the
not
podcast.
Just warming up. This is already the podcast. I'm kidding.
Yeah. So I want to do a series of podcasts where I invite people that were supposed to be hosts but turned me down.
But I didn't turn you down. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
No, I know you didn't. So you're not part of that series.
So you can be like the intro, like sort of hedge it, a little bit. Like she would have been invited, but I just like never got around to asking her because so many other people who you will see in the upcoming weeks denied me.
Well, I mean, I think the thing is like people of I don't want to get old, but people of our generation don't get it as much.
Get what as much?
Right? I don't know, like making things and putting them out to the world. I don't know, or just I don't know. Maybe I'm speaking incorrectly about this, but everyone seemed to be like confused. Like,
no, that's actually probably true. Because
why would we do that?
Booth, like at least like once every 6 months since we started dating has been like, you should do a podcast on that, like some like random thing, and I'm like, you're bananas, and that's ridiculous, and I think you're probably right. I think it probably is like a weird thing where I'm like, nobody wants to hear me talk about like really, really detailed dissection of like country music lyrics. Like nobody wants to hear that.
Whoa.
I disagree. I think they would. I think you have a fan base. I'm not a part of it. I think there is one.
Yeah. I feel like that would crush as a video essay.
I have a lot to say about a lot of country songs. So.
Where are you? You're in Arkansas. Gotcha.
So okay, so like eventually, at first I wanted this to have like a topic and stuff, but then I got really into these stand-up comedians that have podcasts where they just talk to their friends, and I was like, no, we'll just do that
because we're like famous even and stand-up comedians.
Even though I'm maybe not that funny. Although your mom texted and said, quote, I'm going to read the text because it was
amazing. She also said...
she said, okay, so I texted her a photo of a comment that said, yes, please, to Grace Alexi's mom on the podcast.
That person's from...
And she texted... That person's from New Zealand, I know, because they said in an earlier comment. And then she texted back, ha 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 ha. It's getting pretty good. I love the last episode. You are very funny and have patience with them. Banter. Do you think I'm ready for a little banter? I mean, that's exactly the thing that I want to. That's exactly the thing that I want to go for. Like, it's sort of funny. I'm like the crazy uncle, but you know how most crazy uncles are like weird and like racist or whatever. No, I'm like the crazy uncle
really
that like
liberal. Or crazy uncle that has substance abuse.
Is like an anarcho-communist or whatever.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah, and like just does math. Not meth. Math. There was an A there. And then like I get a little bit annoyed at like how you guys are I don't know not getting stuff done or whatever, but it's not really a thing. It's just a bit. Anyway, that's the theme that has happened, right?
But yeah, my mom she said the same thing, that it's funny, and like how she was like, oh, that last episode was the dog piling on Alec one, I think. And she was like, oh, it's a great episode. I was like, oh, really? Like, why? I was like, Mom, I don't even know why he called it that. Like, what is it? And she was like, well, because the whole time you guys are dog piling on Alec. But in a kind way. You know, nothing too mean.
Yeah.
I don't remember that, though.
Yeah. Okay, so Maggie, Alec talks about sports a lot.
You should also look at his
Instagram.
So he's a sports editor, takes photos for like the newspaper as well, and a lot of it he just does. I don't know if it's a lot, but a large portion of it is a large portion is just a synonym for a lot. There is a. You know what I'm saying? And you look at his Instagram, and it's just a whole bunch of pictures of like, you know, teenage athletics and shit. High school athletics. I don't know why I said teenage either. It is almost midnight here, so that's why I'm slowly crippling. And you look at it and you're like, oh, he's in these photos. No, none of them are him. Not a single one.
No,
that's great.
It's great. He's passionate about it, right? And I love it for him, but I just don't get it. I just don't get sporty stuff that you don't do.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong, like I'm a sporty person. Like I'm really into climbing. I mean, that actually, like, to be honest, oddly enough, like athletic stuff might be the thing that I'm best at in the whole world, like compared to everything else that I'm okay at doing.
Yeah.
But I just don't get like the view. Although I did get really into the Russian figure skating drama after
you've always
our
been kind of
last
into
episode.
the Olympics in general, like
That's true. I love the Olympic spirit, right? The coming together of the world.
And cheating like and doping?
No. Okay, yeah,
I'm kidding.
Anyway, I watched all these like video essays on this like Russian figure skating coach that essentially like takes young girls and then burns them out by the time they're 16. It's really terrible.
Wow.
Yeah. So like Valieva was just a product of this. Like she is the
and then there was another
what's the word?
There was another Russian figure skater too, a girl who was, because I guess there's like, you can kind of, this is what my friends are saying. I've never heard this before, so tell me if you've heard of this or if it's not true, because they were saying how like when a country puts in players, they know almost before the Olympics that they're guaranteed to win. Like before they get on the Olympic arena. Someone in the comments tell me if they've heard that.
Maybe,
I don't know.
Maybe if they're like really, maybe if they're really good or something. I don't know.
Most of the people who are competing in the Olympics have competed in other like events against each other, like other very similar events against each other, right? I mean,
so you almost maybe that's where it's from. It's like you see them like in the preliminaries or whatever, and you're like, oh, this will
things and
Oh, I remember why they said it about this girl in particular, because so you get technical points and creative points, I guess. And the girls' routine. Now this is coming from what my friend told me. I can't cite my sources. But it was like she basically did a whole bunch of these like really hard jumps back to back to back to back to stack up on technical points. But obviously that didn't make for a very creative dance because it was just very technique heavy. And so her coach was like, you're going to win, 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 because you're going to be overloaded on these technical points for making all these jumps back to back. But she ended up getting second because she didn't have the creativity points. And she almost like didn't accept it. She like wasn't going to go to the podium. She wasn't going to be medaled.
Yeah.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah, I think that's
not
fine.
What it's called.
Yeah.
Medaled. Yeah, you know. Yeah.
We know what you mean.
Yeah. Medaled. What's the word?
I think that seems like a fine word. Ooh, what if it were crowned? What if they were crowns instead of medals?
Tiaras.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's not quite hitting the
like
spot.
A giant
like
wrestling belt.
I don't know. I don't know. I'd expect some jewels, and I don't think the Olympics has the budget for some like diamonds. But yeah, no. So that was just I don't know. That was an add-on to that conversation we had about the figure skater.
Oh yeah.
So
cool stuff. Okay, should we
ramp it up?
I think my dinner is almost ready. What about some goals for the upcoming week?
Can I have a second to think?
Yeah.
Thank you.
I mean, it was on the outline, but I mean,
Michael, I added more ideas to the document list.
I know. Did we talk about any of them?
I brought it.
Does love exist?
Yeah.
We talked about that a little bit.
Is Alec a bitch?
I really wanted to talk.
We talked about it.
Yeah. I really wanted to talk about. Oh, I really wanted to talk about this main character energy, which I guess like people have. Have you ever heard this term?
Yes.
Any of you?
I have not, but I have a sense of what it could mean.
Yeah. Yes. You know, there's a button that mutes it.
I thought you couldn't hear me.
You were 8 instead of 6 inches away from the microphone.
You see, I have a runny nose because it is so cold in here. It's so cold.
You're like fully wrapped in a blanket too. It's so like.
Yeah, dude, it's literally 38.
Inside your house?
It's 38 degrees. 37.
Not inside,
okay.
Right?
Sorry.
That's what the temperature is inside your house. Oh my god.
The heating's not on. I think that is the temperature inside.
Wait, do you keep your temperature on Fahrenheit?
Yeah.
On freedom units?
Yeah.
That's all. I didn't really have a comeback.
I keep my time on military though, on 24-hour.
Okay, I've got a question about that. We're just keeping going, right? So, okay, in Europe or whatever, they use 24-hour time a lot, right? When things are like
past noon,
like publicized to happen at a time, it's like 20. But in day-to-day conversation, do you say 20 o'clock or do you say 8 in the evening?
Yeah, 8 p.m. Now this is
okay. So verbally it's like 12 hours, but written it's 24 hours.
I'd say so. But what's interesting is that instead of saying like 8:30, it's 8:30, quarter to 8, quarter past.
See, I understand quarter past and quarter till, and I don't know. This is obviously not. I don't think this is like a European thing. I think this is like a Southern thing. But I've never understood quarter of. Like, I don't understand what quarter of means. Like a quarter. Does that mean it's 8? So if it's a quarter of 8, does that mean it's 8:15, or does that mean it's 7:15? I don't have any idea.
Ooh,
good question.
There's something similar like that here, but with 30.
Like
8:30
has a quarter of the hour.
I don't know.
Elapsed,
or is it a quarter to the next hour? Yeah, here we have like a similar thing. It's like, is 8:30? Well, in certain parts of the UK, I think, because my flatmates, she has a different understanding of 7:30 than like somebody from here. So like 7:30 would be like 8:30 here, but I guess where she's from in England, it would be 7:30.
Yeah.
So 7:30
Yeah.
instead of
like,
8:30.
If it's 8, it's
But it's just
8,
two words,
and half of
8:30.
8
Yeah.
would be 7:30, I guess. I mean, half of it would technically be like 4, but
Right.
And you wouldn't say 8:30. Yeah, so it gets confusing.
It's 7:45, so we're meeting at 2.
I'm done.
So my goal for the upcoming week, I'm sitting on these like 90% recorded complex analysis videos that I'm gonna like record the Mathematica part for, and then get it to the editor. That's my goal. Then I'm gonna work on my research project that I've been putting off. Okay. Oh yeah, and then stumble over words. Okay, next.
I have book club
Grace?
tomorrow night,
Maggie?
so that's gonna be fun. And I read a lot, and I have friends who read a lot. I've read 80 books this year so far, and so I guess my goal this week would be to go to book club and also read, I guess, like 10 more books this week. I don't know, and go to work and do stuff.
What? So
it's a young adult book
what
club,
book
so
is
we're
happening
reading
in book club?
Instructions for Dancing by Nicola Yoon, and we have strong opinions about it. Yeah.
Well, that's good. I mean, that makes the book club fun,
and
right?
we're gonna have tacos.
And that's the goal.
Yeah.
Sounds great. Grace?
Can you guys not see my breath? I can see it.
Your video is not very good.
Fair. What am I excited for this week? I don't know. Well, I started working on an assignment that's due on the 7th. So I have like 300 words out of like 1,500. So that feels promising. I've also done the readings for like the 2 readings that it'll be based on. So I got a head start on that. But I have 2 more essays due at the end of March. My mom's coming next month. I'm looking forward to that. But that's, again, not in this week. So I'm not really answering the question. I'm hoping the weather is nice.
Maybe she'll...
Yeah, that's what I was going to say that earlier, but you cut me off, Michael.
I'm sorry.
I was going to say my mom's going to be in Belfast with Grandpa. We're also going to be in Birmingham for the weekend visiting our long-lost family. Dude.
Maybe she'll be a guest when she's in town.
Yeah, except we're going to have to figure out the headphone thing. Because this just has one port.
Right. That's true.
Yeah.
It could be tricky, right?
I'm excited for lacrosse practice.
Yeah. That seems good too. Okay. So a media recommendation for me. Should I sound really smart or like suggest something that I've actually been really into in the last week? Probably the second one, right? So I've been really into this Take Your Shoes Off podcast by this guy, Rick Glassman. He's like a stand-up comedian, and he's like, okay, so it's public knowledge that, and he publicizes this. He's like on the spectrum, and he was just on this show on Amazon Prime about it's a comedy about life being on the spectrum. And anyway, it's a great show, and his podcast is great. It's sort of like podcast goals for me. Anyway, that's my suggestion.
I
was on the outline.
You know what? But Alex's name wasn't on the outline, so I felt like I had more prepared than he did because I had stuff to do. Shit.
Well, maybe Maggie
do you
has
have one,
one.
Maggie?
Yeah, I watched. I don't have like whatever system that's on or whatever, but I sort of keep up for some reason with that kind of stuff. And I watched a review of it, and it looks really good.
So I don't personally play this, but I have a friend who does. It looks really fun, but like also like a lot of work. But maybe people here would be interested. I think it's called like Wordle on the New York Times,
yeah.
and it's like a little Scrabble kind of dealio where you have like figure out what the word is, and you have a certain amount of
Yeah, I
time.
mean, it's the most popular puzzle in the universe right now, so likely everyone has heard of it. I'm sorry.
That was uncalled for.
Yeah. I'm so
It's okay.
sorry.
Woo.
I got the Wordle in one day.
You know what? You guys should watch Euphoria. How about that?
It was just dumb luck. Light. That was like one of my
Today?
openers for a couple
Was it
days.
today?
No, several days ago.
Don't they have a different one?
Maybe like a week or two ago. Yeah, it's different every day.
I was about to say the answer.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about Euphoria. It looks too intense for me.
Well, it definitely is a little graphic and stuff, and I do think it's a little bit more like, I don't know, like, but it does touch on some real issues, like substance abuse and shit.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I would not watch it in like the living room.
Yeah, I just watched the first 2 new episodes of The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. It was good. I watched the new Star Trek. It was good. See, I don't have refined taste. I mean, this is like kind of going into another like thing or whatever, but I feel like maybe it was because of the person I was with when I was in high school. Like I felt the need to just like be really into smart stuff, but now I just don't care and I just consume whatever. Maybe that's just like sort of being young, right? You like want to pretend that you're all like fancy or whatever, but now I just want to like go watch the Avengers.
Dude, watch all the Marvel movies, bro. They're so good. If you watch them in order.
Oh, I've watched them all.
Yeah, but go back and
I
watch
watched
them
the
in order.
update, the YouTubes.
Watch them in order. I'm so excited for the new Doctor Strange movie.
Yeah, me too.
And the new Guardians of the Galaxy.
I think that's a little bit further away.
It is, yeah.
Though,
they're
right?
filming now, though. What is it? Gamora. There, I forget. I forget the actress's name, but she's posting on
Zoe Saldana.
Yeah. They're filming right now. You see it on their Instagram.
I don't really follow famous people on Instagram.
It showed up in my Explore. Fair enough.
Oh, Grace, you got a follow. You got at least one follower from this podcast.
No. Really? What is their name?
Yeah. Good Place to Stop followed you.
Yeah, who's that?
It's like the guy who posts all the comments and stuff on my math videos. Or, I mean, I don't know that it's a male, but looking at the analytics, it is.
He's like a fan.
That's like a huge problem.
What?
Like we need to get more than 5% women watching my math videos.
He has a video from. Do you see his YouTube channel? He has a video that says "Classic Michael Penn."
Yeah.
Wait, it's 33 seconds.
Notice that is going to be 4 times 9 quantity squared.
Oh yeah, I make
now
an arithmetic
just
mistake.
Multiply this out instead of doing an approximation. So let's see. 4 times 9 is 36. Squared is...
What is 4 times 9?
It's not that.
What is it?
I mean, 4 times 9 is 36, but the final answer
I was going to say it is
18
plus 18.
Yeah.
18 plus 18 equals 36.
Okay, so let's take the information that we've gained so far to the top of the board, and then we'll move on.
You know that part where you don't like
Yeah.
your voice? Do you have that, Maggie? Yeah. Oh, nice. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like my
Cool.
voice.
Yeah. I don't know. Like,
I'm petrified.
my point. I mean, maybe it is a microphone situation, but my point was really that if you edit like 1,000 videos of yourself teaching math problems, you get used to your own voice. Yeah.
Are we just gonna complete?
Oh, Sandra's working at this like community access network. Like, she's a nurse practitioner now, and she works at this place that does really like great outreach and like it's free if you can't pay and all this other stuff. Anyway, I feel like
You just had to say that.
I don't know. It's sort of like in the same range is what I'm getting at. Yeah.
I
great.
think that's a good place to stop.
Yeah.
I kind of wanted to get that in right before it turned 46 because it was very satisfying that it was 145.
Oh yeah, that's good. Yeah, so I guess that. Oh wait, should we do it? No, I think Alec's going to do an outro, so we don't have to do an outro.
Media recommendation. Did I give him my media recommendation? Okay,
yeah,
dope,
you said
dope,
Euphoria
dope.
and
short-term memory loss. Dudes, I can see my breath. I can see my breath in here. I don't know. Gonna go make myself a cuppa. That's what it is, man. Okay. Well.
All right, I'm gonna go eat dinner. This was really fun.
Yeah, it was lovely to meet you, Maggie. Look forward to seeing you on here again.
Yeah, we will invite you again, and maybe I'll try to make a trip to LR. Yeah. Okay. Well, it was fun, everyone. Goodbye.
Wow, that was a long conversation. Thank you to Grace and Michael for inviting Maggie Smith onto the podcast. It's always a good idea to bring new ideas and new voices and new faces onto this podcast. We hope to do more of these in the future. Hopefully we make a playlist of our interviews in the future as well. But with that being said, this has been the Penn and the Pavloffs. I'm your moderator, Alexei Pavlov. We'll talk to you next time. 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 Talk to you next time.